freaking believable. Unbelievable. I gotta be honest with you, that game drove me nuts. I cannot believe the Buccaneers lost that game. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Tough one. Man, that was an absolute laser from Kuch, wasn't it? What a crazy game. The Bulls are bowl-bound for the third season in a row. An incredible performance. And listen, we know the competition. They did what they had to do. No more silver linings. No more moral victories. It was put up or shut up time. And boy, did they rise to the occasion.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Recher podcast. Happy March 23rd, 2026. We're back at the home studio today. Collar popping. Showing a lot of, yeah, there we go. Camburger right there. We got to tighten it up a little bit, a little more professional. It's funny. I was just about to put cologne on. I'm like, what am I putting cologne on for? It's not like you guys can smell me through the freaking screen. Can you? Can you smell me? Do you smell what the wretch is cooking? Happy Monday. It feels weird to kind of be back here because taking off on Friday for the Valspar. What an incredible weekend over there at Innisbrook. I'm going to tell you this, like I've said this for many, many times in the past. If you ever have an opportunity to take a day off, take a week off, and spend time with your loved ones, do it every single time. Don't look back. Don't apologize. Because I had such an incredible weekend with my mom and dad. I picked them up as soon as I got home from North Carolina on Thursday. I picked them up. We went to the Saladino Championship game. Congratulations to Coach Chris Wilkin and Bloomingdale for beating Tampa Catholic 2-0 2 years in a row. Bloomingdale is your Saladino champions. Unfreaking believable. It was great to see everybody. Jared Guthrie, my buddy over at 813 Preps, Joe Urso, the whole crew over there. Great to have mom and dad take in that whole atmosphere. And then Friday morning, going to the Valspar all day, sitting at the 8th green. Saw Steve Versnick from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Bobby the Chief Taylor was over there. Allie, big Bolts fan as well. She was there. Really, really fun. And then Saturday, we had an event over at Gen X Tavern. And then we went to the Rowdies home opener, a big 3-0 win for Dom Cassiato's guys, 2-0 to start the season. Our Tampa Bay Rowdies. And then all day yesterday at the Valspar. I'm a little red. My lips are a little red, but it was so well worth it. A lot of sports action. I wanted to get over to USF, but I had an event on Saturday, so we didn't get a chance. But baseball guys took care of business, winning 2 of 3 against Rice. So some really, really good stuff there. Plenty to get into on the program today. Probably when it comes to information, this is probably one of the biggest Monday shows that we've had in a while when it comes to what the hell happened over the weekend. And we will start talking about Bryan Hodgson officially leaving USF for Providence. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on that here momentarily. You saw my Recher's Rapid Reaction live from the golf course yesterday. We're going to expound on that a little bit here. And then we'll also break it down with our good pal Nathan Bond of Bay Area Examiner. You know, if there's any kind of USF news, those guys are all over it. They went live yesterday. I implore you to go check that out. So we'll chat with him at 1 o'clock today. At 12:30, Ian Beckles joins us for our weekly hit. NFL players playing flag football. Did you guys see that? We watched a ton of it, me and my dad, and I really enjoyed it. And it just shows that it's a completely different ball game altogether. It is not the same. It is a busy week ahead for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We've got games on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday and next Tuesday and next Thursday and next Saturday. Bro, it is unbelievable. A 7-game home streak for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It seems like we haven't had one of those in a while. So, yes, we will be live from Benchmark International Arena tomorrow and Thursday and next Tuesday and next Thursday. So, really, really good stuff there. An incredible road trip for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's exactly what we wanted to see. What I tell you guys, the most important game of that road trip was going to be on Saturday night against the Edmonton Oilers. Only 2 goals given up in that one. Right? Even last night, they get a point. They're down 3-1, halfway point of the game. I didn't give a shit. I was writing that off as a loss anyway. Really, really good stuff for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 7 out of 8 points, and it doesn't get any easier. Returning home tomorrow to take on the Minnesota Wild. Quinn Hughes, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Zuccarello, those guys there. You got to play the game the right way. We're going to talk Nikita Kucherov and his Hart Trophy possibilities. And also, one of the big stats that I posted over the weekend, that I got over 54,000 views on Twitter. Unfreaking believable. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss the Hodgson thing. What else? We got a lot to get into. Valspar at 120, 130, March Madness living up to his name, and then 140 would talk Rowdies, Rays, and everything else from the weekend. Somehow Man City beats Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. No surprise there. Again, follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I am everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Over 2,260 subscribers. We got to keep that train rolling. And of course, our partners here at Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, for all your residential and commercial needs, 813-244-0956. And of course, Evra Health, our Evra Health Injury Report on Thursday at 12:30 with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez. I always want to hear from you guys. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen. Benny, who is in last place. Benny, you are in last place. You are 79th out of 79 entries. How the hell does that happen? And you've been 79th the whole time. So, I mean, I'm kind of proud of you in a certain way, Benny. Great effort by the Bolts in Calgary. Good road trip overall. Janet Best, I can't wait for USF to be more than a stepping stone. I'm with you, sister. Row League, happy Monday, Wrecking Crew. Kuch has to be the MVP at this point. Tampa Nike Fitness chiming in as well. DT, Jaybird, 7 out of 8 points. Awesome road trip. And then TNF, down 3-1, found a way to get a point on the second half of a back-to-back after a long road trip. We will take it. And again, one of the toughest games is that first game back after a long road trip. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. This is something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on. But yeah, a good weekend for the Tampa Bay Lightning and a good weekend overall. You had Hawaii in the Final Four. Give me a break. I love it, Benny. You're killing it. Benny, who else was in there? Was that your wife, your girlfriend? Because I think she was second to last, which is crazy how two people right from the rip has 78th and 79th. Nathan Bond, who's joining us at 1 o'clock today, was actually first for a while. I think he's fifth now. My little sister. It's his sister, Benny's sister. Oh, my God. That's so funny. Yeah, good stuff. I'm up to I was 70th for a while. Greg Wolf, our pal, one of the voices of the Tampa Bay Lightning and everything sports here in the Tampa area, texted me the other night. He goes, dude, are you in dead last of your own bracket? And I was like, oh, let me check. I was 70th at that time. I was 79. I don't care. I had a good time this year picking with my heart rather than my head. It was like 50-50, like I told you guys. But I got a bunch of the Sweet 16 teams, so I'm not too unhappy. And my team, Duke, is still in it. Florida, oh, my God. What the hell did you guys do? A lot of people's brackets are screwed. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we'll start the show today discussing the big news from over the weekend. And that is Coach Bryan Hodgson officially announcing that he's leaving USF for Providence. Not much of a surprise. And if you listen to the interview that we had with Joey Johnston last week, he declined and he turned down the Syracuse job, but there was no word about the Providence gig. So, that was the ultimate, if there's smoke, there's fire type thing. Again, can't really fault Coach Bryan Hodgson for doing what he did. You have to make the best decision for you and your family. It doesn't make me feel any better, though. It's just like the Mike Evans situation. You want to go somewhere else? Fine. That's your choice. But don't expect me to be happy about it. I, along with a lot of other people out there, are just sick and tired of the same thing happening here at USF. Listen, it's one thing if this is a small school or a low to mid-major type thing, but, I get that. But this is one of the biggest markets in the entire freaking country. We have 3 pro sports teams here. It's one of the greatest places to live on the planet. Yet we're still the stepping stone to other schools. Golish to Auburn, now Hodgson to Providence. Woohoo! Wonderful. And don't for 1 second think that if Brian Hartline has some modicum of success, that he won't be the next one out the door. He had more cachet coming into his job than either of those other two guys combined. So don't think for one solitary second that he has any type of loyalty to the University of South Florida. He doesn't, and nor should he. Again, not blaming him, Bryan Hodgson, or any of these coaches. They got to do what they got to do. But just voicing my displeasure of where we're at in this situation. It's not personal with these guys. And I think that's an important context to this entire thing. They got to do what's right for them. I just believe that this is a place that should be the final stop, the destination for people looking for brighter lights in the bigger stage, not just a footnote on a career journey where the finish line is always somewhere else. I moved here from the biggest market in the world, and I've stayed for 20 years. I could have tried my hand in other markets, bigger than this one. I could have gone the coaching route and went to a minor league system and worked my way up, but I stayed here because this place is special. This is a place that welcomed me with open arms 2 decades ago, and I made something out of my freaking life. There's something to be said about loyalty. There's something to be said about seeing something big before it happens. Believing in the process. Believing in the people at the top of the chain that's going to create something that's never been seen before. That's Tampa. That's USF. The only reason I'm not more miffed at this entire situation is because of Rob Higgins, our CEO of athletics at the University of South Florida, the guy that came up to me at the sneaker soiree a couple of years ago and said, the reason why I love you is because of how much you love Team Tampa Bay. I'm grateful that Rob sees me, and Rob, we see you and we believe in you. You are Tampa, and you're going to get this shit done. You're going to make this place the destination. And when it's all said and done, I'm telling you guys, there's going to be buildings and statues and streets named after Rob Higgins. I'm telling you guys, he's going to be one of the most important figures in the history of this city when it's all said and done. I'll put my money on it. We'll get there. We'll get there. And we'll look back at days like today and laugh. But now, it stings. It really does. Because Bryan Hodgson did a lot of great things for our city. He did a lot of great things for this basketball program. But it was just 1 year. And now you're going to Providence, Rhode Island. And I get it. For all those people like, oh, the job, you don't have to waste your time on the logistics. I understand. There's no football team there. They get all the NIL money. That's fine. But we're watching March Madness, and we're seeing all of these teams that get outspent lose. Or, excuse me, you're seeing all these teams that don't have as much money as others win. That's what you're going to go to? You're going to go to a place like Providence, Rhode Island? $20 million in NIL money? Fine. Good luck. Good luck. Give me somebody that's going to stay with USF. Give me somebody like Rob Higgins. It's going to leave a sour taste in people's mouths when it comes to USF athletics until something gets done. Until Rob Higgins gets this team out of this conference, we are going to have more days like we did on Sunday. I believe Rob can do it, and I know a lot of people out there believe Rob can do it. But until then, we're going to continue to be the stepping stone, and that pisses me off. And it should piss you off too. I've said this for many years. As a Tampa Bay sports fan, you deserve more. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard. I say this shit about the Rays all the time. Don't be okay with being told this is all you can get and this is the ceiling. Screw that. Glass ceilings are meant to be shattered. Look no further than the Tampa Bay Lightning. 3 Stanley Cups? 3? for a team that came into the existence in 1992? What? 3 cups in 34 years? Hockey in Florida? I'm sure there was way more people that told Phil Esposito, our current president included, Willie Mays included, that told Phil Esposito that hockey would never work in the state of Florida. And now, look at it. So don't give me this shit that USF will never be a destination. Don't give me any of this talk about the Rays will always be a small market team and they'll always just be a minor league feeder system for the Yankees and all these other. No, it doesn't have to be like that. Hold yourself to a higher standard as a Tampa Bay sports fan. It will get better, but it's up to all of us to hold everybody accountable. That's why we have shows like this. This is why we have radio stations. This is why you have social media. Voice your displeasure. Let people know how you feel. This is why we have to have people like Rob Higgins in place. That's not going to just bounce on us the first time a juicy carrot is stuck in front of his face. Just because, and I give USF a lot of credit. And you see Rob Higgins and Jay Stroman and Lee Butler and all these different guys and so nice and respectful and all these things for Bryan Hodgson. Yes, there's no reason why it shouldn't be like that or you shouldn't treat him like that. We are grateful for the year that we had here. But he, again, I said this shit about Mike Evans. He chose to leave. He thinks it's better somewhere else. I disagree. We can agree to disagree. And if you don't feel like this is a place that you can grow, then sorry. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Respect for how you treated me. Respect for how you treated our community. But you bounced after 1 year. Mike Evans bounced. And obviously it's a much different situation. But still, Mike chose to leave. That makes me feel some type of way. Is it going to ruin my day? No. But I think you're naive if you don't think it affects how we view people, or at least some people out there. You can choose to stay. And that's where we have to make it. And it's not always like that. It's not always a situation where it's like everything has to be perfect. What more do you want? What more do you want? Coach Bryan Hodgson said in his introductory conference that one of the best things about this entire program was that these guys are putting money into the athletic program. USF is putting money while other people are kind of hemming and hawing and kind of half-stepping when it comes to athletics. USF is going full speed ahead when it comes to supporting everybody. And you look at the success across the board. Look at the records of the teams. We got no bottom dwellers. Men's basketball, the double dip. The women's basketball in third. Baseball, softball, track, cheer, golf, tennis, soccer, volleyball. Bro, everybody is thriving. But we've already seen in the last 6 months, Jose Fernandez leaving, Alex Golish leaving, and now Bryan Hodgson leaving. Now, Jose, after 25 years, maybe a little bit of a different story. You gave a quarter of your life to this place. That's a little different in my opinion. But Golish, Hodgson, want to go to Auburn and Providence? All right, good luck. But don't think that I'm going to be happy about it. And I think there's a lot of other people out there too. And you guys know me. I'm not one of those people that's like, screw you. And somebody said this on Twitter too. Like, F that guy. It's not that. It's not that. Because it's certainly not the way I feel about Coach Bryan Hodgson. We have a really tough time of like compartmentalizing our feelings nowadays. Everybody's so bullish on like, well, I can only feel this way or I can only feel that way. No, you're allowed to understand that there's a bunch of shades of gray in this life. Everything is not black and white. I go back to the conversation that we had about supporting our country when it comes to international sports and athletic competition. And it doesn't mean that you absolve our nation from all the warts that it has. You can't differentiate between that. That shows how shallow-minded you are. You can't differentiate right now being grateful for what Alex Golich and Bryan Hodgson did and also not being thrilled that they left. Have some depth. Rob Higgins really is the saving grace. He is the guy that is going to make us feel a lot better about this situation because he is Tampa. He's a Tampa guy through and through. And I know him personally. As much as I want to talk about getting to know Golich and getting to know Bryan Hodgson, you know them to a point. They let you in as much as they're going to let you in as a coach. I know Rob Higgins personally. This is Rob's destination. This is his dream job. Rob Higgins is going to go down in the history books as one of the most influential people that this city has ever seen. He is going to get us to a good conference. He's going to get us to a situation where USF is right there in the conversation. And people are going to look around like, why the hell would you ever leave this place? But unfortunately, days like today are still here. More USF talk at 1 o'clock with Nathan Bond. We'll have Ian joining us at 12:30. But I want to talk about our Tampa Bay Lightning. What a job that they did on that road trip, winning 3 of the first 4, losing that last game in overtime last night. It was a quick one there. Johansson has been really just not great this year. One of the worst goalies. And it's tough. I get it. He's a backup goalie. I understand. But you got to be better than that. It just seems like it takes too long for him to be able to kind of get into the flow of the game. That first period for him is always atrocious. And he grows into the game. But by then, it's just the team plays from behind so much. He never comes out of the gates hot. And that is a little worrisome. But again, how worrisome is it? Because we know Vazzy's going to be playing, every game in the playoffs. And if he goes down, we're probably screwed anyway. That's what happens. But I wanted to talk about this Tampa Bay Lightning team. And I want to talk about the one and only Nikita Kucherov. After the win on Saturday night against the Edmonton Oilers, in which Kuch picked up his first shorthanded goal of his career, I did research on the stats, and Kuch is more likely to have a 3-point game than a 0-point game in the last 5 seasons. I'm sure you guys saw this stat. It's got over 54,000 views on Twitter and almost 20,000, I think, on Instagram. 78 3-point games the last 5 years, 66 0-point games. That's crazy. This year, Nikita Kucherov will win his second Hart Trophy for league MVP. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's all about narrative in the National Hockey League. And now you're seeing more and more of these people, all of these big-time pundits in North America saying, well, Nikita Kucherov is so great. Is he underrated? Is he flying under the radar? Oh, wow. What a novel idea, talking about one of the top 3 players in the league and acting like he's one of the best. It's so strange. And I told you guys about this. I'll never forget covering the All-Star game in Toronto. When obviously it's not the exact midway point, but everybody up there talking about Nathan MacKinnon was going to win the All-Star game with still 30 some odd games left, people talking about Nathan MacKinnon winning the MVP. There was still damn near half the season, but everybody kept saying what? It was his turn. He hasn't won one yet. It's not a lifetime achievement award. It's what happens that year. Nikita Kucherov was so far behind Connor McDavid when it came to the amount of points and leading for the Art Ross. And now he's in first place because he's went on an absolute tear. 4-point games, 3-point games, 5-point games. When you're hearkening the names of Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, like, dude, that's uncharted territory. That isn't a flash in the pan. That shit doesn't happen every day. We haven't seen Wayne and Mario play for over 15 years. It is crazy. It is unfreaking believable how good that Nikita Kucherov is. The vision that he has, he's just on another level, and he does it differently than anybody else. He's not a bull in the china shop like Nathan McKinnon. He's not bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody like Connor McDavid. He's plays at his own speed. His hockey IQ and his vision is just on a completely different level than everybody else. And you're hearing more and more people speak about how great Nikita Kucherov is. And that is the reason why I believe he will win the Hart Trophy again this year, because he's in the conversation. Everybody's talking about it. It's like the cool thing now to talk about Kuch winning the MVP for the second time. But if it happened next year, people are like, well, you know what? It's time for Macklin Celebrini. And listen, I think it should be Kuch, probably Celebrini, and Matthew Schaefer. Those would be my top three. Connor McDavid's still one of the greatest players on the planet, but look at the lack of team success. If that's what we're going to put into the whole situation, McKinnon, it's not how many numbers. That's what the Art Ross is for. But when you look at this team, this Tampa Bay Lightning team, who has been in first or second pretty much for the entire season, and you see what they've been able to do with injuries to Victor Hedman, to Ryan McDonough, to Emil Lilleberg, to pretty much everybody on their blue line, to Braden Point being out, to Anthony Cirelli being out. Look at all of these different guys that missed time due to injury this year for the Lightning. And what does Nikita Kucherov do? He just keeps scoring points game after game after game. If you're sitting there again and you're talking about this guy has had 3 or 4 consecutive 4-point games, and the only other people that have done it in the history of the game are Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Give me 2 guys that you want to compare yourself more than those 2. And we got robbed. We didn't see Mario Lemieux because of obviously dealing with Hodgkin's lymphoma and the back injuries. We talk about what ifs in sports, right? What if this guy was healthy? And I think one of the biggest ones is probably always Bo Jackson, right? We think about different athletes and wondering, man, if they were healthy, whether a Brandon Roy or a Greg Oden or some of these other guys. But I think one of the biggest ones is probably Mario Lemieux. And he still had an incredible career. He still was MVPs. He still won Stanley Cups. But what if he was healthy the entire time? Does he score more goals than Wayne Gretzky? He was a completely different player. And again, to this day, there's not many guys. We always say that there's not many guys like Gretzky because of his vision, because he wasn't the biggest, the fastest, and the strongest. But Mario was a big, hulking, right-handed centerman. We really don't see guys like that. You think about all the great players over the last 20 years, right? You think about Ovechkin, winger, right-handed shot, bull in the china shop. If anything, like McKinnon's kind of like him, even though they play 2 different positions, right? Crosby, crafty, lefty in the middle. McDavid, a taller lefty in the middle. Kucherov, a winger, right? We don't really see big, hulking, right-handed shot centermen like that. The closest would be like a Ryan Getzlaf from the Anaheim Ducks a couple of years ago, but he didn't have the scoring prowess of a guy like Mario Lemieux. Tage Thompson, but he's more of like the tall guy, 6'5", 6'6", and he's kind of a shooter. He's not an all-around guy like Mario was. So it's just incredible to watch what Nikita Kucherov has been able to do this season. And if he keeps this up, he's going to win the MVP. You can't do what he's been doing and getting the love that he's been getting nationally and not win the Hart Trophy. It's the cool thing. And when you're the cool thing, you're the hot, topic of conversation, and you're the best player, it's a slam dunk. And he's a huge reason why the Lightning are where they are. And if Buffalo wasn't going on an absolute tear, the Lightning would be in first place. But I'm praying for the Lightning to be able to overtake Buffalo and then possibly play the Islanders in the first round so I can go to New York and cover that series. That'd be pretty badass. Lightning back in action tomorrow night at Benchmark International Arena. First of a 7-game homestand. Again, I'll be there live in local mañana. Morning skate. We'll talk to John Cooper and the rest of the guys as well. Anthony Cirelli left the game on Saturday after the fight. You'll love to see him stand up for Brandon Hagel, but he was back in there last night. 7 points out of 8 on that West Coast trip. it'll be good to see the boys back at the arena tomorrow night. All right, it's 12:30 on a Monday. You know what that means. We bring him in. It's the great 21st century philosopher, Ian H. Beckles the fourth. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Good, but I failed or skipped philosophy class.
No, you taught it. That's why.
That is true. That is true. What's up?
Let's go. Nothing, man. How was the weekend?
It was good. I had a little watched Robin Thicke last night at Busch Gardens.
I saw that, man. How was that?
Well, I went to see John Legend Wednesday. Okay,
that was so great.
I'm a huge John Legend fan. I think it's the 5th time I saw him. I was ready to put that in the top 5 concerts of all time, and I'll be damned if Robin Thicke didn't beat him last night. Robin Thicke is the most soulful white cat on the planet.
Really? More than
I said
JT?
it. Yes.
Like, wow.
Yes. And he was wooing the sisters, though. You know, if you woo the sisters, you know it. You know that stuff.
You know, if any white guy knows how to woo the sisters, it's,
right? I seen you spit. I seen you spit.
Spitting games, buddy. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because Phil told me. Phil Esposito tells me, he's like, yeah, I used to bounce Brett Hull on my knee. He was like, you know who else I used to bounce on my knee? Robin Thicke. And I'm just like,
really?
Yeah, well, him and Alan Thicke were real tight.
Alan Thicke, yeah.
Alan and Phil were real tight. And when Alan Thicke, when he passed away a couple years ago, you know Phil, man, he's very stoic. He was shook.
Yeah, he is.
He was shook.
Really?
And Phil's not like that. He was more shook about that than like even I think his brother passing, because Tony was sick for a while, so he kind of knew. But yeah, Alan was his boy, man. They were really, really tight. So Robin Thicke, when I saw that, I was like, oh man, I wonder when the last time he talked to Phil. But man, where did you see John Legend?
John Legend I saw at Ruth Eckerd, and Robin Thicke was at Busch Gardens. Yeah.
Oh my God, man, John Legend, unbelievable.
So good.
He was amazing. Did you get a chance to see the NFL players play the flag football, guys?
I tuned it in, and I think I lasted 30 seconds. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to.
You know me. I was laughing. Me and my dad were watching it. I laughed so hard because I love crazy, weird shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a problem. But the more and more I'm watching that, Beck, I'm thinking to myself, it's not the same game. It's just not. It's not the same game. Like the only thing they have in common is the word football, because you're looking at Saquon Barkley with his big ass quads, and he's just like, he has no idea what to do, and it was a little awkward too. Like, I don't want to see Saquon Barkley not know what to do on a football field. He's the guy we look at and we go, hey, you're supposed to be the best. It was cool to see one team where you have Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. Like, it's cool to see all those guys go out there and have fun, but it's not the same game, Beck. Not even close.
No, it's not the same game. But here's a problem that I have. Okay, it's not the same game. But then even Logan Paul was talking about fighting people and stuff, and they brought up Myles Garrett. Okay, if you give Myles Garrett 2 months to box, he will kill Logan Paul. All right, you have to give respect to the craft. Okay, if you're an NFL player, you never played flag football, it's going to take a while for you to get acclimated. Now, if you were going to put an Olympic team out there and you put NFL players who just came out the league and you gave them 6 months to practice, they'll kill that team. They'll figure it out. Okay, and they'll be bigger, longer, faster, stronger. They'll get to points faster. They just don't know the ins and outs and the little things of sports. I was the same way. If I jump into your sport, it's on you. But once I figure it out, you're gonna be in trouble. So I'll let Logan Paul say what he wants. Like, Logan Paul talks like, and listen, I actually have respect for both the Paul brothers. Lately, they've been bothering me because Logan Paul's acting like he can play any goddamn sport. Just because you touch Saquon Barkley in a freaking flag football, you think you can play professional football? He'll run through your neck cavity. Stop playing. Come on, man.
Yeah. They're way better athletes than I think people give them credit for. I mean, to see what Logan Paul does. I mean, he's in the boxing. They don't look terrible in the boxing rings. They really don't. They don't look terrible. And Logan Paul, he's an incredible wrestler, man. Like, he does backflips. He makes it look very, very seamless. So, there's a difference between being a professional athlete and being a high-level athlete, right? I think those are two different things. He could be a high-level athlete. You're not a professional athlete. Two different things.
Correct. And listen, I'm giving him credit for what he's done in the boxing ring, but he can't beat a boxer, though. He can't beat a boxer, a legitimate boxer. He cannot.
No, definitely not. All right, so going back to that, so you think that with proper training, like let's say 6 months, that the NFL players could be better than the flag football guys?
Would be 100%.
Really?
100%. There's no way. It's just, once again, they just got to figure out who's good at what, who to put where, and then just learn the little ins and outs. I mean, that's at the end of it. The other team was better because this is what they do. Okay, it's the little things. Once the NFL players figure out the little things, you're screwed because now they're longer, faster. They'll know where to go, and it's just that's just the way it is. Like if Myles Garrett fought Logan Paul right now, Logan Paul might beat him. But if you let Myles Garrett just learn a little bit, you're gonna be in trouble because athletic ability is gonna come into play.
The only thing I'll push back on that is like even if you look at a football player, the reason why I'll push back on that a little bit is because if you could give those guys and some of those, we've seen football players throw a baseball and it looked terrible. We've seen football players shoot a basketball and it's terrible, right? We can look at basketball players and say, wow, this guy's a really good athlete. He's 6'6", but if you put him in football for 6 months, he's not going to turn into Myles Garrett. Yeah. So so I don't think it translates in every sport, right? I don't think you could take certain football players and say, hey, if we give you 6 months on the baseball field, you're going to be able to play for the Yankees.
No, absolutely not.
So you're saying that the reason why they could make that transition to flag football, because at the end of the day, it is football.
It's the same sport. It's just like saying if you took an NFL player and put him on an arena league, it would be different. Like there's the little things that would throw him off. You know what I mean? But give him a little bit of time, and he's going to be better than the other guys because he's a better athlete. So it's just going to be a matter of time before the athletes are going to catch up.
So do you think with the Olympics coming up, you think former football players, former NFL guys will start training flag football?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I played rugby growing up, and being from Canada, rugby is now in the Olympics. If rugby was in the Olympics back in the day, I would have been in the Olympics. There's no doubt, like, I'd have made a Canadian team, okay? If I was after my career and I could make the Olympics in a second, what? To go there and get, decorated by your country and win a medal, that's possible. I couldn't imagine anything. Like, you can't replace a lot of things that happen in professional sports, but that would be something that would replace it.
Olympics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I wonder, and that's what my dad was kind of asking me about that the other day, because we were discussing about how players take off from soccer, the international breaks, and they build them into the regular season, comparing that to the World Baseball Classic, where people are like, well, we don't want you to get hurt, so we're not gonna send you there because we're worried about the injuries. But then we see it in hockey, right? We saw it in hockey, like no Canadians turning down the opportunity to represent their country in the Olympics. Right. Same thing with USA. So people ask me, like, how do you get into soccer so much? You didn't play soccer. I didn't get into it until I was later, but I feel like there's something to be said about people that pride themselves on where they came from. Doesn't mean it's perfect, but pride themselves on like their family and representing their country and something bigger than themselves rather than the almighty dollar. And I think outside of our country, like we're really the only country that does that. Right? I mean, when you think about it, like soccer players, it doesn't matter. Kylian Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Leon, these are the rich, David Beckham. These are the most highly paid soccer players of all time. Some of the richest athletes ever. And they don't think twice about representing their countries. I think it's kind of cool to see the NFL players take some of that pride. And even if they're talking out of their ass a little bit, like to see Justin Jefferson go, man, it'd be really cool to represent my country. It's cool because that's not really the thought process for the NFL.
It's hard for me to compare soccer and football. It just is because I've watched soccer. I'm not a huge soccer fan by any means, you know that, but I've watched a lot of soccer. I mean, not compared to football, but I've never seen anybody really injured ever. Never. I've never seen an ACL. Like, I'm sure it happens, but I've never seen it. Okay. Football and soccer are just not the same animal, man. Like, if you're a professional football player, like you could, like, if you're a professional football player, you don't go out and play football in the park on the weekend. Okay. If you're a professional soccer player, you can play pickup game of soccer on the weekend. Football's different, man. Like, football ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they do play flag football.
No, but flag football is different, though. Yeah, flag football is different. But Football is just so much different than soccer, man. When football's over. Soccer, to me, is almost a pastime. Football, like the game of football, is not fun. Soccer looks like fun to me. You get to run around and wear little bitty shorts and flips and all that kind of stuff.
I think too with like baseball, because there's so many arm injuries as well, right? Like I think that's kind of like the ultimate balance. And
Sure.
I'm interested to see if that ever happens with football. Like, does the NFL, because we always talk about the NFL getting bigger. Do you think there'll ever be an NFL team outside of North America?
I bet my house on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long, but it's good. I guarantee. You think they're doing all this outside this country for nothing? The NFL doesn't do anything for nothing.
Right.
They're just testing the waters. And I'm going to tell you what, being Canadian, everybody thinks when you go over the border, they talk about CFL. Nope. They're talking about the NFL. And let me tell you something about gambling. When you go to the corner store and you get the little scratch offs, you can gamble on the NFL right there. Okay. So think about being able to gamble at the NFL with scratch offs like, the lotteries. So football is huge in Canada. When I mean huge, I mean that's all we did was watch football. And everybody around me. Everybody, they're hockey, but football is still huge in Canada, no doubt.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if they'll have a team. I mean, that's the other thing too, right? It's like, could we have an NFL team in Canada, right? Like,
why not? Why not? If it was in Toronto, but here's the only issue. And
it's got to be big cities, right?
Well, not even that though, Jay. Even remember when the Rays were talking about splitting cities, and I was like, man, and I asked logistically, and I said, hey, anything's possible. But I asked logistically, how does that happen when you're playing half the games in Canada, half the games in the United States? You're getting doubly taxed. I mean, are you getting Canadian money or American money? Is that going to be fair? So there's a lot of logistical stuff that has to be taken care of. But a team in Toronto, to me, works. I just don't know how that doesn't work, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's different taxes as it is here in this country, where you get paid different amounts based on, the state that you're playing in, where you're making obviously less money if you're playing in California. If you had the opportunity, would you ever play in California?
Would I?
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to play in California.
What I'm saying is right now, with all things considered, the way the taxes are and things like that.
Well, once again, I had an opportunity to play in California. When you compare the contracts, it has to be comparable, because $1 million in Tampa Bay after taxes is probably $670,000, and then after taxes in San Diego probably might be about $52,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of money now. So the contract can't be even. So San Diego had substantially more money on the table, and I was like, Major, I go sign it. He goes, whoa, slow down. Let me talk to you about numbers. It was cost of living, state tax, moving. You have a house. Your house, how much? He goes, how much you pay for your house? I go, $175. He goes, it's $650 in San Diego. And I go, stop. I'm not going nowhere. That was it. So it can't be even. If San Diego, and that's a downfall. San Diego is going to have a contract. They have to pay substantially more than in Florida. And they have to.
With that being said, obviously one of the big topics of conversation that we had was the whole Mike Evans thing, right?
Yeah.
And, one of the things that you and I agreed on, we're looking at the situation of, man, why would you want to move all that money, you're giving away? Because, it always comes down to money.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting paid $14 million this year.
Yep.
There.
Yeah.
So obviously he would have gotten paid more here and less taken away. Is it surprising after all said and done, just based on that aspect of it? Like now that we have time to kind of decompress, and there's other things that have happened in the sports world. Now that we look back at the Mike Evans thing, it's still a little weird to me. It really is. It's still one of those things where it's just not a good look for the Bucks that Mike was willing to. It's like, of course he wants to go for a ring, but it's like, he hears about the fans and all these different things. Like all these little things were not intentional, but they were like pot shots at Tampa and Tampa Bay. And Mike's not doing it maliciously, nor is he wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of crazy, thinking about it. Like, damn, dude took less money, knowing he was going to get even less money because he's in California. It's kind of still a situation that doesn't really sit well with me.
And that's okay. And that's fine. Okay. As a Buccaneer fan, it should hurt your feelings because It's like your girlfriend leaving for somebody else. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not gonna feel good about it. But to me, it wasn't about, and we talked about this. It wasn't about why would you leave, because after we talked, he didn't want to stay.
Yeah.
So it's not about why wouldn't you leave if you don't want to stay. Okay, so I get it. Whatever Mike's decision was, I was okay with it. I wasn't there. But we have to understand this, all right? If the Bucks were if it was 2 years ago, he wasn't going nowhere. And there's a reason why he's going. We have to know that, because if this was a team on the verge with, whoever's the quarterback and whoever's the receivers or whoever is around, like Mike Evans knows what it feels like. That locker room in the Buccaneers right now does not feel like shit. Okay, there's no way. There's no way anybody, Levante David, and here's the problem. There ain't that many guys left that know what it looks like.
Right.
A lot of them are gone. Okay, so the feel of a champion, everybody trips about when the Lightning lose 6 games in a row. Not I. Not I. There's too many people in that damn locker room who know how to flip it. But the Bucks don't have them cats no more. They're going to lose Levante David and Mike Evans. That's a lot of leadership. This is not a team on the verge of winning a championship. And I would say, if anybody out there, Buccaneer fan or not, if you have to bet your house on one team to win the Super Bowl, pick San Francisco or Tampa Bay. Which side do you go, Jay? I'll go San Francisco just for shits and giggles, because I'm not picking Tampa Bay. That ain't happening.
It's not even close.
Nope.
So what do you think? Is there any, how would you rank the reasons of why he left? What's the number one reason why if you pointed to roster construction or personal, because there's a lot of people, and the reason why I bring it up is there's a lot of people that says, well, it's Todd Bowles.
Yeah,
it's Todd Bowles. He's the reason why they left. And
I disagree. I
don't think it's Todd Bowles. I mean, could he be part of the reason because he is part of the leadership core? I can give you that, but I don't think it's distinctly Todd Bowles is the reason why Mike Evans left. If anything, it's more Jason Licht than Todd Bowles, because he's the one that put this roster together. So this is the reason why he's not comfortable, because he doesn't see, like you just said, on the verge. The reason why this team isn't on the verge is because they're not good enough. And if they're not good enough, who is the guy that put this entire thing together? Jason Licht. So if anybody wants to, it's kind of weird how people are more mad at Todd Bowles than Jason Licht, when I think he has more to do with why Mike's not here than Todd does.
Well, it's human nature, though, Jay. I mean, people go after the head coach. A lot of people hate Todd Bowles for whatever reason, and that's cool. I mean, if you say I don't like mediocrity, I mean, I can't argue it, because we've been mediocre the last little while. As far as Mike Evans, you're asking the reason why, you have to ask him, and his answers would be the reasons. But I just, I always go back to Tom Brady left New England. If you're Tom Brady left New England, anybody can leave anywhere. Nowhere loved anybody more than New England loved Tom Brady. And he left. They still love him. Okay, he's still a New England Patriot. Mike Evans is always going to be a Buccaneer, period. Even if he wins 2 Super Bowls with San Francisco, he's always going to be a Buccaneer. And he's probably going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Buccaneer. But the reason why he left that was the right thing for him right now. He just, at the end of last year, we weren't in the locker room, but looking on the field, he didn't look like he normally does. He just, the feel wasn't there, the same energy. And that's the whole team.
Is that worse though, Beck? Because comparing those two situations, because you brought it up, everybody knew that there was something wrong with Brady, Belichick, and the Patriots, right?
Okay.
It didn't look the same. You saw the stuff on the sideline. Brady threw a pick 6 on his last pass. They weren't closer. They couldn't hide it. Of course, they knew that situation was strained. Is it worse with the Buccaneers because they wanted him back? This was Mike. I think at the end of it, I think the Brady and the Patriots and Brady and Belichick both knew, hey, I think it's time for us to go. I think it's different in this situation because the Buccaneers, and you don't always see this from teams. You don't, because they understand that it's we didn't see this from the Lightning with Stamkos. Everybody always wants to compare the Evans Stamkos thing. The Lightning didn't go above and beyond and say this. I know this for a fact because I know that the day that Steven Stamkos came back for the Nashville Predators, we were interviewing people and I was told, don't ask about Steven Stamkos. And I go, I'm definitely asking about Steven.
100%.
Definitely. And I asked both players, and I asked Sean Cooper, because that's the story.
Yep.
So that way, like if Mike comes back here, and I think they do this year, bro, everybody's going to be talking about Mike Evans coming back. And the Buccaneers wanted him back. So does that make it, do you think that makes it worse? Because it really was kind of one-sided where Mike was like, hey, you guys may want me back, but like, I'm not seeing it. I gotta go.
I don't know if it makes it worse. I think to compare it to Brady in New England is hard because it's a different situation. Between Brady and Belichick, those were two polarizing people. Mike Evans and Todd Bowles are not two polarizing people. There's one polarizing person there, and it's Mike Evans. Okay, so Todd Bowles is going to get the blame. When it was Brady and Belichick, boy, people were like, let him go because Belichick's the guy. Hey, so now we know that ain't the case, right? So I would think in the Belichick situation and Brady, there was a little ego in that to where Belichick was like, let him go. If he's that good, let him go, and then we'll see what blah, blah, blah. And then we found out what the real deal is.
We did.
So to me, Mike Evans and Brady are kind of the same situation, but everything around is completely different.
We're starting to see Dan Orlovsky today saying that he thinks Ty Simpson, the quarterback for Alabama, is the best quarterback in the draft. And it's just one of those things where it's like Fernando Mendoza's 1-1. He's been 1-1. And you see Dan Orlovsky's, his agency is the same thing as Ty Simpson. It's like, come on, bro. And then people go, well, oh, did you see this? And did you see that? I'm like, yeah, I saw it on social media because ESPN and Dan Orlovsky himself blows it up. And then Mike Tannenbaum, former Jets GM who can't get another job in the NFL. I heard that same thing from talent evaluators. Bro, this is like the crazy, not crazy, but it's just, this is where it gets stupid. I think we talked about this in the past. Between now and the draft is when the NFL gets stupid because all you do is talk about shit that means absolutely nothing. It's how are we going to fill the time? How are we going to continue to talk about the NFL? It's crazy. Yeah,
but if Dan Orlovsky said that Mendoza was the best quarterback, it's not a story.
Exactly.
Right? So now they're going to be debates and they're going to be talking and they'll be on the radio talking about it. And his guy's name is going to come up and everybody's going to Google him and they're going to like him more and he's going to have more people follow him. It's a game. On the Mike Calter show today, there was some young lady in the building, I don't know, Abby or something, that posted something about the worst things about Tampa Bay. And she just got here. Okay. She's from Atlanta and she's on the radio. And she said stuff like, I think she's on one of the stations in Cox. Okay. So I don't 95. I don't even know, but she's with Scotty, whatever that guy's name is. And she said, here's the things that I hate about Tampa Bay. And she just got here from Atlanta. And she said stuff like, there's nowhere to go to hang out at night. There's no good restaurants. And I was like, what? Like, I'm like, well, stop. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, stop. Okay. Because I said to Mike, put her here and let me debate her. But you're going to say there's no good restaurants in Tampa Bay. You're going to lose that. You're going to lose that bet. I don't give a shit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I was here in 1990. Okay. You could have said it then. You can't say it today. Because if you want just steak, it doesn't matter what you want. There's lots of it, man. And Tampa Bay is Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, everything. Come on, stop playing games. So my boy Dizzy said she needs to be killed. I don't think she needs to be killed, but maybe maimed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maimed.
Dizzy said she needs to be killed?
Yes, he said she should kill her. He said.
Did Dizzy say anything about his exploits after the wedding?
Oh, what happened after the wedding for Dizzy?
No, remember he was taking a bunch of pictures with a bunch of ladies.
Oh, no, but between Pap and Johnny B, nobody noticed Dizzy because those two guys were drunk.
Wow. Did you get a little sippy sip in there or what?
Nah. I've been sipping a little something every once in a while. Like if I go to a concert or something, I'll have like a one drink or something like that. But you know what I do, Playboy.
That's right, buddy. Mom and Dad left early this morning. They send their love.
I didn't get a chance to see them, yo.
Bro, Thursday I got off the plane. We went to the Saladino tournament. Friday we went to Valspar. Saturday we went to Rowdies. Yesterday we went to Valspar. We were cooked, brother. We were cooked.
Yeah, you were.
We were done. We were on the Golf Channel though yesterday, which was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
we were on NBC rather. We were on NBC.
So, I'm surprised you're not orange like Donald Trump or that jersey behind you. from all that sun.
Phenomenal job. Wonderful. I said it before. Trump was one of the people that told Phil Esposito that hockey would never work here in Tampa. It was Trump and Willie Mays. What a group.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this. I've never heard him say anything intelligent.
Huh?
I've never heard Donald Trump say anything intelligent, ever.
All I want to say is congratulations. I don't know if you heard the news over the weekend. Dennis Rodman going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Dennis Rodman joining the other greats in the WWE Hall of Fame, such as Drew Carey.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Sylvester Stallone.
Don't do it, Jay.
Schwarzenegger,
Jay.
and the 45th and 47th.
Jay, I said don't do it. I said don't do it.
I get my far left liberal friends so mad when I say, man, you know what I really like about Trump? And they're like, what? Go, he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. And they go, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, what? You're stupid.
You're stupid. And I'm like, don't worry. You know what's even better? What's even better is that in 15 years, you know who else is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame? Bad Bunny. And when Bad Bunny's in there,
and he deserves it.
And he deserves it.
Yeah, man.
When the U.S. played Dominican, I was playing Bad Bunny in the house. It was great because
Bad Bunny jams, dog.
He's the best, man.
Man.
Follow him, Ian Beckles Show on Instagram, on YouTube as well. We'll have Beckles and Recher back together on Wednesday since I'm back in town. Ian's back in town. So we'll hang out and talk on Wednesday. 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard, the best kava and kratom in town. Beck, appreciate you, brother. We'll see you on Wednesday.
One love, kid.
Yes, sir. The great 21st century philosopher Ian H. Beckles the third. People get so mad when I say that about Trump. It's so funny. Oh my God, they get so mad. Come on, man. Before we get to our guy Nathan Bond, we have to discuss Honest Hammer Custom Builders LLC for all your residential and commercial needs. 813-244-0956. TheHonestHammer.com. TheHonestHammer@gmail.com. I just missed him over the weekend at the Valspar. I was leaving right when he was coming by. I had to get mom and dad out of there. It was a long weekend, bro. I got a lot of sun. Even last night, my eyes were burning because we were out in the sun so much. I think I got like sunscreen in my eye. It was a crazy weekend, but it was an awesome weekend for sure. Just like our guys at Honest Hammer, TheHonestHammer.com. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. Get you a discount on work for your new kitchen, your new bathroom renovation, new room in the house. They can help you out. They do everything. They are the absolute best. Love them. Hammer, he's the man. You want to be able to make sure that you trust the people that are working on your home. He's that guy. Again, 813-244-0956, TheHonestHammer.com. And of course, EverHealth, the EverHealth Injury Report every Thursday at 12:30 with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez talking about all the latest injuries in and around the sports world. 17 different locations in Pinellas County. They have the EverHealth Institute. If you want to learn that hands-on training, and I always compare it to the broadcasting school that I went to, you want to make sure that you're going to a place like this where it's the new age of healthcare. They have a sliding scale for the uninsured. They take all kinds of insurance, and you always wonder about the type of people that you work with or take care of you. I mean, you watch the show every Thursday. Dr. Rodriguez, he is salt of the earth. He's unbelievable. Just a really, really great guy. So go to everhealth.org. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast, and just check out their website. A lot of different people are wondering about healthcare, and these are the type of people that you trust. I wouldn't have them here on the show and as partners with me on the show if I didn't trust them. I vet them, man. It's a pretty thorough process, that is for sure. Follow me on all social media platforms at Jay Recher. We have a handsome host alert. Well, I appreciate that, buddy. We also have a handsome guest alert. It's coming up in about 45 seconds as well. Nathan Bond, joining us here on the program, Bay Area Examiner. Brand new Twitter handle for them as well. So make sure you go check that out. _BAE_Tampa. We're going to blame Steeg for that one. I still don't know. Well, here's the pinned tweet, and we'll ask Nate here in a second. It's official. We probably won't be getting the other account back. Did Steeg mess up royally? Yes. Does Steeg deserve to be clowned for getting the account hacked? Absolutely. Please help spread the word by, quote, retweeting with your favorite Tim Robinson meme. There you go. _BAE_Tampa, the Bay Area Examiner. Those are my guys. That's who I go to. Brand new USF news. I always defer to these guys. I do my best. to do what I can when it comes to USF. But I always know that those guys are I call them the experts and the guys that I go to. And let's bring them in now. Nathan Bond. What did Stieg do?
He clicked on a link, man. And
he clicked on a link.
So obviously there's a bunch that have been going around. And we got the alert, hey, you're tweeting about cryptocurrency, and then she's like, hey, I think we got hacked. And I was like, did anybody click on this link that was in our DMs? And he goes, absolutely, I was the one that did that. So I was like,
and Colin says, you have no idea how much we wanted to fire Stieg, but we like Paige. Is that his wife?
That is his wife.
Oh, Paige. Is her name Paige Stieg?
Yeah.
Paige Stieg is a bad name. Not badass name. Not a bad name. A Paige Stieg. I like that. Paige Stieg sounds like a roller derby champion from 1992 from Rancho Cucamonga. We got Paige Stieg coming around the outside, dropping elbows on people, just like Bryan Hodgson dropped the elbow down on USF yesterday officially. No, I know we'll talk about, possible, replacements or the next man up mentality for the USF Athletics. We'll see if Orlando Antigua is available.
Good Lord.
That was the ultimate troll job. Maybe we'll see. I'll have to talk.
Man, there's
I don't know, but I'll talk. I gotta ask Mike about that one. It was great. Because Orlando Antigua was nice to me. He put me in the media basketball game back in the day.
Same, but I knew he was going to be I knew he was going to be a bad coach when he started me in that game.
Maybe that's what it was. That was
like,
cool,
bud, come on.
Cool. I'm still catching my breath from that game all those years later. Not a surprise, right, Nate? I mean, that Hodgson was leaving. What's bad? I had Joey Johnson on last week from courtside at Buffalo going, yeah, he turned down the Syracuse job, but he didn't turn down the Providence job. And I'm like, that's the color commentator saying that. It was just a matter of time. What can you give us as far as the kind of the ins and outs of the decision for Bryan Hodgson to leave South Florida to go to Providence?
I mean, it's just kind of like the same thing with Alex Golesh leaving for Auburn. Like, Providence is in a better conference, historically a better school. They have more money to give. USF is definitely on their way to that. I put out a tweet Sunday, basically screenshotting Providence's NCAA tournament appearances, USF's. I mean, USF will get there eventually. I believe in the leadership that is there, but we're literally and figuratively in a different league compared to PC. And the Friars, they can be good, they can be scrappy. You just need a good coach. I think he'll do great there at their NIL budget. Clearly, they're putting money in. I mean, beating out Syracuse for Bryan is massive. I do believe USF did everything they could to make it make sense, but the last couple of coaching cycles with Golesh and now Bryan, that Rob Higgins kind of put out a tweet. We've done everything we could to get them to stay, but we're going to be the best stewards of our finances within the department, saying they're not going to go over a certain threshold. We're not going to just tie up a bunch of money to a guy who may just leave again anyway, which is the smart thing to do. He's hasn't signed a 5-year contract with USF, or maybe a 6-year contract, signed a 5-year with Providence. He's not going to see those 5 years. If he's successful, he's going to be at the bigger school. Like, just how it is. The good thing with college basketball today is you can get good again real quick. I expect a complete roster turnover. Those very exciting freshman Canadians, I don't think we'll see them again. That's just kind of how it goes in NIL these days.
Yeah, and I had a buddy that went to Providence. He was asking me about, Hodgson, and I was telling him, and I go, expect a lot of the guys that were here to come with him too, because they ain't staying here. They're going to go with him. And that's kind of the new age of college basketball, where these guys are going to just follow Coach Hodgson and go there. And, that's what happens, right? These guys go into the living rooms. They promise their parents that they'll take care of the guys and expect this to be no different. Before we go forward, I want to go back to the game. Do you think that what happened with Bryan Hodgson and the kind of the cloud hanging over his head, Do you think that affected the team in any way in their putrid performance against Louisville in the first round?
No, I just think the lights may have gotten too bright offensively for this
Yeah.
team. Defensively, they were still they played well. I think they turned Louisville over 24 times. It's tough to lose a game when you turn the other team over that many times,
Yeah.
but when you go 5 of 33 from three, that's really tough. Uh, it sounds like a cop out, but like depth perception in gyms that you've never played in,
Mhm.
different aspects, it's a massive kind of hindrance to 3-point shooters. And when you're in when that's your bread and butter as a team,
Right.
it can get really difficult. USF this season had a hard time going the opposite way, playing in the smaller gyms. They would struggle shooting the ball as well. So it's a double-edged sword. Some teams are better at adapting. Obviously, Louisville was a little bit better at it, especially in the first half. But
Mhm.
I mean, you lose by 4, but you shoot 5 of 33 like that. That's going to haunt you for a little while. Like you're not even competent at shooting three. You're just like below average. You win by 8. So that's the frustrating part for the team, for fans. But he came here to do a job and he did it. That was to win conference titles and he pulled the double. Godspeed, man. Go get your money. Go get your bag. I think this institution is more prepared to restart with a new coach and basically reload again. It's unfortunate. It's technically the 5th coach in 5 years for
Mhm.
USF, but you've gotten 3 titles out of it, so
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. Shout out to our friend Vanessa. Hi, friends. And also Alta J 93, first place bracket right now in the J Retro podcast bracket. At one point, Nate was first, not only in the Bay Area Examiner bracket, but in mine as well. He's in 5th in the J Retro podcast bracket. Our buddy Greg Wolf reached out to me. He goes, "Are you dead last in your own bracket?" And I said, "Close, 70 out of 79. I had so much fun for the first time because I've been filling out brackets my entire life. For the first time, I literally went 50-50 of if I didn't know who was going to win, I just picked who I wanted to win. It was a lot of fun. And it didn't work out great. Like in the beginning, I didn't give a shit. Like all these times, like we try to I think this team will win and this thing. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't really care, man. I wanted to see USF and UCF. I wanted to see them play. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to have them both win until they play each other. Like it was fun. It was fun to fill out a bracket like that for once. I'm like, I don't give a shit, man. I didn't no money on this type of thing. But it was cool. It was good.
Typically, I'm horrific at the bracket, so this
Yeah,
year
so
is
who
just an
cares?
absolute anomaly. Being competitive in not only the Bay Area Examiner one, it's the same. Full disclosure, same bracket for both. I did
Yeah.
not do 2 different brackets. I'm not a 2 different bracket guy.
No, I don't think
It's
you can on ESPN. I think it
oh,
automatically enters you in there.
huh, well, good. I just want to make sure I'm not a
No,
15
no, no.
bracket guy.
No, you're not a
Uh,
double bracket guy.
And but I am in first in the Bay Area Examiners, the
Nice.
men's tournament, and I'm also in first for the women's tournament. So I may get to win our own prize. So
There.
be better, guys.
You could turn around and give yourself, it's like the old Abe Simpson meme when he walks into the bar,
Exactly.
walks out of the bar. That's going to be you. All right. So a lot of people want to know now. All right. Who is on that short list? Who do you guys like? I mean, we've had this discussion. I feel like this is Groundhog's Day. We just had this conversation a couple of months ago when it came to football. All right. So when it comes to this USF men's basketball opening, who are some of the people that you like to come in and replace Coach Bryan Hodgson?
So there's a few names. Some are more realistic. Some are pie in the sky, and there are some uh, warts. This is not the end all be all. I think what we've seen with this regime is they keep everything pretty well tight lipped until it's
Right.
about to get announced. So we're kind of shooting darts. These are the unofficial Nathan Bond Bay Area Examiner kind of sourced, the sourced list of folks. How many caveats can I put in?
Love it.
So I got 6 names written down for you. Real brief on all of them. Bob Ritchie from Furman. He's 203 and 94 over his career. He's been at Furman for 14 years. 2 NCAA tournament appearances. He's 1-2 in those games. Could be exciting. Matt Brower at Stephen F. Austin. The the hindrance for him, he's from Texas. He's coached basically only in
Right.
Texas. Texas Tech assistant coach, UNT, Sam Houston. But first year, he went 28-6 this year, regular season title. Brian Wardell is at Bradley. 207 and 160 for his career. He has 20 win seasons, two Missouri Valley Conference titles. Also played at Marquette in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Colin Sherman will tell you he crushed USF multiple times as a player. So it'd be kind of a full circle moment for him. Here's where it gets a little icky-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Drew at Grand Canyon. Obviously, great run at Valpo. Not great at Vandy. His last year, he went 0 for the SEC, which is not how you want to win basketball games.
Right.
But he's been at Grand Canyon, 4 NCAA tournament appearances in 6 years. Obviously, there is a USF connection in that George Kiefer was the Grand Canyon soccer coach, now back at USF.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure George has been hit up already by people kind of getting feelers about what they feel about him. But he has historically won at mid majors. Vandy just an anomaly, just like kind of like football. They're always been a little bit better at basketball, but it was not a good tenure for him. And then Eric Olin at New Mexico, his first year this year, 25 and 10, was at UC San Diego, where he was just a straight up winner, had an NCAA tournament appearance. They were D2 for a while he was there, made the jump, made a tournament. So very good. This last one. This is my personal favorite. I picked them to win in the first round. This was like the big upset. Flynn Clayman from High Point is a phenomenal head coach. His first year, 31 and 5. Obviously went 1 and 1. He was at Southern Utah for 6 or 7 years. He took over for I think it's Alan Rush, or Russ, who is now taking over for Creighton. So like that's why he got the job. The downside for Clayman maybe even taking this USF job, I think it may be an NIL like decrease. That was like a $4 million roster for High Point. Like they've got money. Just a weird quirk. My girlfriend went to High Point and she was telling me all these fun facts about High Point. They've got 8 swimming pools. Like there's articles about this is where Wall Street sends their kids now. Like they've got money going to a public school, maybe a little bit different for them. You may not have as many resources as USF, but that would be a fun one. They play a fun game. If you saw the interview after they won in the first round, like dude's intense. And he's passionate. So those are my 6 sourced Bay Area Examiner almost official list. The guys, Seth, Colin, and Stieg, Sunday did a live podcast and they threw out some more names. So make sure you guys go check that out to kind of see some other folks there as well.
Was there any other names that we're kind of hearing nationally? Because there's always like a different, any of those names that you can kind of like shut down, or any of those names that you don't think is as good of a fit maybe as some other people that are like, hey, what about this guy?
I mean, the one that sticks out is just like straight up Orlando Antigua, and I still, I'm almost positive. I bet your life on it. It was not a bit, but no, I mean, it's a very attractive job. What Amir was able to do, what Bryan was able to do, like that, it's made the job attractive. Now you've got to maintain that. I think taking Petway from Kennesaw, I think it just kind of perpetuates, and now that's all he's ever going to be asked about. He's never going to be his own person. I don't think it's a great idea. I think having the student section for AAR is great. Doing the Love Wins tournament with Kennesaw, I just don't see that being the natural fit. They had like an up and down year. They made the tournament, but it was kind of a wonky year for Kennesaw. Hanone, I believe I probably butchered his name, from Arkansas, or from Arkansas State. Obviously USF undergrad. Again, just kind of repeating the same sort of thing. Those are the ones that people keep kind of throwing out. I trust that Rob Higgins, who is obsessed with basketball, I trust that Mike Griffin, Will Weatherford, they will get this hire correct. And I would expect them to have the hire pretty soon.
Mhm.
I'm not going to put a timeline on it hard fast, but April 7th is, I believe, when the portal opens. So
Right.
they've got to have somebody in place probably a week before then.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I want to ask you about the women's side. I went on a couple weeks ago, and I thought Michelle Woods Baxter has done enough to earn a little bit of a bridge deal to trying to give her kind of a little bit of a run there. But it seems like she's going to be in contention, but there's going to be other options out there. What do we know about the opening for the women's gig?
I kind of push back on you on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Here's my thought. If it saves the university money by
Mhm.
just doing an internal promotion, and you can maybe throw that saved money toward men's basketball, why not?
So
Um,
you didn't see enough from Woods Baxter in this year to give you confidence going
n-
forward.
Not consistently.
Okay.
There was a decent chunk of time, February, March, but there was too much inconsistency, and then we
Mhm.
saw it in the conference tournament,
Right.
and that it was tough. I get the thought process of, well, give her her own resources, let her
Mhm.
basically build the program um to how she sees fit. Maybe it's just I just have a hard time. She would been with Jose for 17 years. Like, I
Right.
have a hard time seeing how divergent they might be. Obviously,
Mhm.
I think the Euro well is probably dried up a little bit,
Right.
because Jose just kind of found the deficiency in the market and hammered it. Now
Mhm.
everybody's kind of doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how effective they would be doing that route. I think
Mhm.
getting the more US based, there's still a lot of talent in Florida,
Mhm.
but uh, it's going to be different. But I mean, why not? Give her some run. She's still a 21 season.
No, don't let me
Uh,
talk you into it. I don't need you
no,
to
it's
agree
fine.
with me. No,
No,
and
it's
like,
fine.
listen, and that's the reason why I love you, man. Is that like you and I, we both are very strong-minded individuals, but we don't always agree, and I like that. You know what I mean? Like, I looked at, and let me just give you my point, because again, I always defer to you guys because you guys are all over USF. From my thing, one thing I loved about her was that they couldn't win shit on the road. They were terrible, and they found a way down the back half of the season to really kind of put things together on the road. And I feel like you learn a lot more about teams, how they play on the road, than they do at home. Yeah, they whooped ass at home, which was, I mean, that doesn't really mean much to me. But figuring it out on the road as the year goes on for a coach in her first year, like that to me was like, oh shit, okay, like that showed adaptation, because that's what you want to see, right? And then you look at the roster, and like, was this the most talented roster? People were saying that going into the season. I remember even before Jose left, I was talking to people, and they're like, we're struggling. Who's going to be able to create something out of nothing on this team? Right. We know what Carla Brito brings to the table. We know what's, bringing in, a couple of different girls, but who's really what is Battle going to bring to the program? So
Right.
that's where I was like, did some of these girls know that Jose had the eye on the prize? And maybe that's part of the reason why the recruiting class wasn't as strong. So giving her an opportunity for a couple years, and at least she knows she's at the men's game. She's all about it, right? And I get it. If Rob wants to go, let's say, younger and more, maybe more energy, or like he wants to go somebody in a different, like, I can get that. But I feel like sometimes in a situation where you want to give somebody an opportunity to grow, maybe this could be the opportunity, right? Like, they could do a lot worse, right, than Michelle Woods Baxter. And if they give her the job and it doesn't work out in a year or two, then you move on. I don't think people are going to be up in arms over it, right? That's kind of my thought process of it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the longtime women's basketball donors are kind of hoping that Michelle gets the job, because it's
Mm-hmm.
a relationship that they've had for 17 plus years. I don't I don't think she'll kill the program if she gets the job.
Right.
Like, it's not going to go from 20 wins to 12. Like, that's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening. Um, I think there, even with Jose being here, I think there was a ceiling on this team consistently, and I think I don't know if it's a Jose thing in general, but I mean, you couldn't get to the second weekend,
Yeah.
even with the best chances
Mm-hmm.
that you could get. You had that Miami, I think it was an 8-9
Mm-hmm.
against Miami. You got ran out of the gym. Like, there were some moments where you're like, all right, if this isn't how we do it, like what
How are we gonna
what
do
else? What
it?
no,
Right.
seriously.
No, you're
And
right. 100%.
is there somebody that's out there that can break the glass ceiling? I
Yeah.
don't know, but you see it more with women's basketball where it is really a haves and have nots, and then the
Mhm.
have nots just have fun, make the tournament, and then just get curb stomped. And that,
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it consistently this weekend. That's just kind of what happens. You don't really see too many Cinderella teams
Mhm.
in the women's side of things. So if you're not a UConn or South Carolina, like just enjoy being there, I guess. Like that's such like a terrible way to
No.
think about
No,
it,
you're
but
not wrong. My dad said
the
my dad said the
data's
same thing this
there.
weekend. Yeah, he does. My dad's like, "Oh yeah, look, UConn's up 56-14." It's just like,
Right.
huh?
And it's like the data set is there. Like I'm not pulling it out thin air. Like the data is there to
Yeah.
show like unless you're a true blue blood
Right.
and you invest millions upon millions into your women's team, you're never gonna get through. And
Mhm.
and I think that's kind of what it is with most women's sports in college. Like you look at Oklahoma, I think they have 122 home runs
Mhm.
in through 30 games this year. Like that's insane, but that's just kind of where you're at. There's no
Yeah.
Cinderella, women's college world series. Like that USF 2012 run was like it took a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah, it did.
It took a lot to get there. And it doesn't happen as often as on the men's side, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I appreciate I think it was you that said don't look at the USF Tulsa score yesterday. Was that you or somebody else?
Oof. Oh, the softball. Yeah, the softball game it
It's
got
like
out of it got out of hand quick, brother.
I don't know what the hell happened with those, but it is what it is. We'll put that to the side. What's up on Bay Area Xander? Let everybody know how they can find you guys, brother, because you're all over the place.
Yeah. I
In a
mean,
good way. In a good way.
Instagram.
In a good way.
Instagram's our Substack. We brought a guy on this year. His name's Colby. He's been just
Yeah, he's doing
phenomenal
a great
for
job.
us. We sent him to Birmingham. We sent Colin on a wild goose chase trying to get up to Buffalo. That was entire cluster. Check us out on the podcast. The Pod by the Bay. We have the Ponderosa. We have the Discords. $5 a month for the paid section. You get film rooms. Seth Marnador, our football guru,
Panadol.
does a phenomenal job of breaking down film, and we've kind of turned him into a basketball savant as well, so that's always fun. And the Discord, we have everything, so make sure you guys check that out. Hit us up. I think my Twitter handle is nbondo910.
Something like that. It's on there. You know I'm gonna put it
That's
out on the
that sounds about right. And then
yeah.
I guess the new Twitter handle is at the underscore bay underscore
Tampa.
area Bay. Okay, BAE.
We'll figure it out.
Steve screwed me, man.
Damn you, Steve.
I was that's probably the maddest I've ever been at someone who's not my child.
Oh my gosh. We should like have
So disappointed.
put him in the town square with a sign around his chest that says idiot on it. We should throw tomatoes at him. That'd be
Oh
good.
my god. I was like, it was the most blatant and obvious, like
Yes, spammy kind of
oh.
thing of all time.
But then I think Michael Kelly got hit with it. I think
Mhm.
3 other people have gotten into my DMs asking
Oh
for me to
god.
vote for them on a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you've never listened to a podcast a day in your life. Why are you asking me to vote for you?
My buddy Josh Capo too from Pewter Report. He's another guy that got hit by that as well. I'm still waiting for That's Amore with Seth Vanadore, the food review on the Bay Area Examiner live at the Ponderosa. That'll be awesome. But again, I always tell everybody here on the show, support local. Cannot say it enough. And Bay Area Examiner, again, the guys that I go to when I need, if anything's real or fake, if I'm not hearing it from those guys, I'm not believing it. So they are the best. Nate, you are the man. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, buddy. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, buddy. Great Nathan Bond, Bay Area Examiner. Go check them out today. They're everywhere. And of course, you guys know I support them and put it out on social media as well. Really good discussion there on Bryan Hodgson and the future of USF athletics and also the Michelle Woods Baxter stuff as well. We'll see. It seems like the higher will be Michelle. But again, as Nate said, we trust Rob Higgins. If Rob Higgins is going to come in and say, hey, this is the direction that we're going to go in, and we're going to bring in somebody that gives us a higher ceiling for the USF women's basketball team, like, I'm going to have to go with it. I have a great personal relationship with Michelle Woods Baxter. I think she did a really good job this year. But if there are question marks, it would be the ceiling, right? I think the floor will be higher, right? The floor will be as high as probably any coach, but where will the ceiling be for Coach Michelle Woods Baxter with USF? So we'll see if her being at the helm, is that going to make a difference? Are they going to be able to reach uncharted heights that they weren't able to get to when they were with Coach Jose Fernandez? We shall see. And how about some breaking news? The first star of the week for the NHL, I'll give you one guess. His name he had 13 points in 4 games. Nikita Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov, right wing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You guys heard of him? Nikita Kucherov, first star in the NHL this week. Second, Philip Forsberg. Third star, Cole Caulfield, right wing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nikita Kucherov, first star of the NHL this week. Interesting. 119 points through 65 games. Guy's pretty good. Nikita Kucherov. I like that name. Nikita. Hey, Nikita. What's going on? All right. He's an empty net merchant, CJ. Yeah, I'm with you, pal. Crazy shit, as always. All right. Let's get to some of the other stuff. How about the Valspar Championship this weekend? Just an incredible weekend to go there with my family, and a big shout out to Tracy West and to Rondé Barber and Rick Odioso. Everybody at Innisbrook, Pam, the volunteer that is always hanging out with us at the 8th green. Again, if you missed it this year, go next year. On Friday, we are there. On Friday, we're there at the 8th. On Sunday, we're there at the 18th, which was pretty cool that we were on TV on NBC for the final round there. It was hot. Your boy had a headache, but mom and dad, they were so tough. It was phenomenal. Just a phenomenal event. Got to see Pat Maroon yesterday, which was cool. And it was funny because we came out of the store, and when we came out of the store, I looked over and I was like, did I see him first? No, I didn't see him. So I'm walking by, and as I'm walking by, I'm like, Dad, hold on. And my dad's like walking over to get some stickers for my nieces and nephews. And the lady's like, come take a picture with Pat Maroon. And I'm like, oh, okay. Come take a picture of Pat Maroon. I'm like, 1 second, please. Come on, take a picture of Pat. I'm like, man, my dad is walking over there. We'll take a picture with a guy that I've known for 10 years. Hold on. Give me a second. It was so funny. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I took mom and dad. And he was just so great. And we were talking about hockey, and then we were like, people are waiting online as me and Pat are talking about the Lightning. He was like, all right, we got to go. We'll see you later. Just a great guy and a great overall tournament. We contributed to the turn there where the Humane Society raising money with all of John Gruden stuff. I got a hat. I got a shirt. I think my dad got a shirt too. I got to bring him in. I have him in the other room. But just another incredible tournament. The Valspar did it again. Tracy West, and to see Matt Fitzpatrick. There was a lot of guys at 9 under for a while there, but Matt Fitzpatrick with the birdie on 18. And it's almost like people knew that he was going to win. And, I had Brooks Koepka, and it was good to see Koepka and Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and some of the bigger names out there. Xander Schauffele. One of the best moments of the weekend we were able to see my dad, and my dad's, now that he's retired, plays a ton of golf, and he is a big Xander Schauffele fan. And we were able to see him play on multiple holes. And then before the final round, we went to the driving range and we got up close, and we were able to see Xander Schauffele get ready for the final round, and to see my dad kind of taking that all in. It was special, man. It's one of those things that I'll always be grateful for. And one thing that I'm just so thankful for everybody at the Valspar for treating me so great. When I left WDAE, you wonder how you're going to be received. You're wondering like how people are going to treat you. Are they going to treat you like a redheaded stepchild and act like they never met you and never knew you? Or are they still going to treat you as an esteemed member of the media? And Rick Odioso and Tracy West and Rondé Barber and everybody there at Innisbrook and the Valspar, they've been so gracious and so kind. And I'm so eternally grateful for them and our relationship. And just, it's no surprise when good things happen to good people and great things happen to great people. And another successful weekend. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if my mom's already trying to book tickets for next year, because I cannot wait to be back, even though I am burnt to a crisp. I did okay. I'm a little less burnt than I was yesterday, but your boy was feeling it after Friday. That is for sure. All right, what else from this weekend? Boom, 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 boom. March Madness certainly lived up to its name. I mean, how's everybody's bracket doing right now as we speak? We looking at tournament challenge. Let's bring this up so everybody can see. All right, take this off there. Put this to the black background. All right, no second chances. You're not getting no second chances here. All right, so here, no, we're not doing that. Groups. Here we go. Am I not signed in? Maybe not. Oh, wait. All right, there we go, Jay Recher. Wait. Dude, what is going on? This is strange. I cannot find the group that we're in. My brackets. Huh. That's weird. If I go this way. That was strange. Yeah, there's mine. It's tournament challenge. There we go. Okay. I'm first place in my family because they didn't put him in. We didn't do anything. All right, so I'm in 53rd. Zachy's in first. Alta J's second with my guy Pat Russo, David Moran. Mallory Garner's in sixth. How about that, Mal? One of our Carolina correspondents. If she beats her husband, Steve, she is the new Carolina correspondent. And I can't even. Where are you at, Steve? You're not even on the first page anymore, Steve. You used to be in first. You could have been a contender. My sister at 23rd. Steve's tied with my sister at 23rd. I'm 53rd. How about that? Greg Wolf at 45th. I'm coming for you, Greg. You were talking shit. And then we're going to see Benny all the way at the end. Benny all the way at the end. You guys want to see Benny? Here's Benny right here. Ben, 76 out of 79. The only reason why you're not lower is because these people didn't fill out a bracket, Benny. Let's see Benny's bracket. Duke, TCU, you had St. John's, you had Kansas beating St. John's, you had USF over Michigan, you had USF. You had USF winning the whole thing, Benny. The hell's wrong with you, Benny? Maniac. But obviously the big game yesterday with Florida losing to Iowa. What was going on? There were some crazy decisions yesterday when it came to coaching and the lack thereof. I don't know why they were. What was with the press there on that final play where they left Iowa open for the three? I don't understand that. This is a team that is supposed to have the experience. And I know it doesn't matter. Like, oh, we're not defending anything. It's a different team. It's a different year. But it was just kind of a funky situation there. You don't expect a team with that many veterans to play that poorly at the end of the game. That's when you need your guys to play the best. It was just a very strange outcome. And Alvaro Folgueras hits that three from the corner with 4.5 seconds left, 73-72. I didn't love the way that the Gators looked in that game. They didn't deserve to win that game at all. Iowa earned it. And I don't know what was going on. I didn't like the way that Xavier Lee played. I know he was 7 for 11 and 3 for 6 from the field and scored 17 points, but it just seemed like every time that they needed a good decision to be made, he wasn't making it. That didn't look like the Florida team that we saw all year. And now you kind of wonder, with them losing in the SEC tournament, I thought that could have been a good thing for them, but maybe it was just showing us some weakness that they really had, and they got exposed. The other big win we were watching yesterday was St. John's over Kansas. What a battle. And I don't know if I've ever seen a team foul that many times at the end of the game. I don't understand why you would do it so early. Like, why didn't you foul a little bit later on so that there was, like, why leave that much time left on the clock to give the kid an opportunity to go down and make the layup to win the game? Like, it's just so weird. If that's your thought process as a coach, then you have to execute it better than that. So now Bill Self out, Kansas out, Rick Pitino with a huge matchup coming up against Duke. And I got to be honest with you, my two favorite teams growing up, Duke and St. John's, I have Duke winning that game in my bracket, but if I had to put my money down, I would say it would be St. John's. Michigan and UConn is the other matchup there in that East bracket. Florida loses to Iowa. And how about Nebraska? After the win over Troy, they beat Vanderbilt 74-72. That shot doesn't go down. They take on Iowa next, with the winner of that game going to the Elite Eight. Chalk pretty much for Houston over Texas A&M and Illinois over VCU. So that 2-3 matchup, not much of a surprise in the South. Over in the West, Arizona beats Utah State to set up a big-time matchup with Arkansas. I give High Point all the credit in the world. I had them, and shout out to Coach Ben Fletcher, one of the top assistants over there. That big 83-82 win over Wisconsin in round one. They lose a tough one to Arkansas, 94-88, and Coach Cal had nothing but nice things to say about High Point, and deservedly so. Texas, after being one of the first, in the first 4 games, beat AJ Devanza and BYU in the first game. Then they beat number 3 seed Gonzaga to set up a matchup with number 2 Purdue, who beat 7-seeded Miami. And then in the Midwest, Michigan and Alabama, that's going to be a freaking knockdown, drag out. I can't wait for that one. I had Tennessee over Virginia, really like that matchup there. And then Iowa State over Kentucky, after Kentucky with a kind of a weird win over there over Santa Clara. I thought Santa Clara got hosed in that game. A timeout that was not called, which was kind of weird. And then another BS foul call, that worked in Kentucky's favor. That's when you start looking at it and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that whole thing. But March Madness living up to its name, and we'll see what's going forward. I can't wait till Thursday, and you just wonder, man, if USF was able to take care of business with Louisville, what would have happened there? I got an opportunity on Saturday to be a part of a message. Hold on, guys. I had an opportunity to be a part of something on Saturday over at Gen X Tavern with Coach Gary Waters, who was with Kent State and Cleveland State and Rutgers, with some of the fans that were actually visiting from out of town, which was really cool. None of the fans were from Tampa. They were all out of towners. They were Gator fans and Arizona fans and Kentucky fans. It was really, really cool. And to go check out Gary Waters and everything that he's done. He's lived in the Bay Area for 9 years now, and to listen to his experience, really, really cool. Met some really nice fans too. A guy from Richmond with his dad. He lives in, I think his dad lives in Maryland. They're Maryland fans. And he said years ago that they went to a game in the 90s where they saw Christian Laettner with the big shot to beat Kentucky in the Final Four. What a great game to go to. And some of these people, what they do is they buy tickets so early on, even before knowing who the teams are going to be in that bracket. So they're like, shit, man, we're just going to go to Tampa. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like that. That's pretty awesome. I think one of those, we're going to do that with my dad. We want to see some March Madness in the future. I'll definitely keep an eye on that as well. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms, guys. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe as well. A big shout out to the Tampa Bay Rowdies for a big home opening win, 3-0 over the defending USL champions, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. What a performance from Coach Dominic Cassiato and his team. You look at Brian Schaefer on the back line, their center back. He's a USF grad. This kid is unbelievable. He's on loan from FC Cincinnati. What a big factor. Russell Cicerone, a good Italian with a goal and an assist, and then MD Myers scoring as well, kid from Jersey. The Rowdies are good, man, and they got some depth. Go Rowdies, rowdysoccer.com. Come on, you Rowdies. There's a lot of big things coming up for our guys. They look fantastic. Rowdysoccer.com. Rays dealing with some injuries. Taylor Wall's out. It looks like Gavin Lux is out. Richie Palacios now looks like he'll be with the team to start the season. Nick Martinez did not look great. And I know some people are going to say, oh, it's just it's just spring training, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But don't tell me that you're surprised when he gets lit up in the regular season. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to struggle in the regular season if you struggle in spring training, but it's also not – you'd rather be playing well. And the Rays have to get off to a good start. I don't think that's kind of, saying something shocking here. They have to get off to a good start. If they don't, the people are going to tune out so quickly from this team and start looking towards football. And they'll, we see this at times when that transition happens with the teams here, when there's the overlap. And with the Lightning playing as well as they have, and it looks like they're poised to make another long postseason run, people are not going to be that invested in the Rays if they're struggling. If the Lightning are looking to push and try to win another cup, and then the Rays are just kind of meandering around 500, the tension is going to dissipate in a big way. So they have to start out well. And there's nothing that I've seen in spring training that really makes me feel so overly optimistic about this team. Am I wrong? Like, I'm not looking at this Rays team and putting a lot of confidence that they're going to be good this year. I hope I'm wrong, and they're going to need Junior Caminero to be able to step up in a big way. I don't see it. I really don't. Carabao Cup over the weekend. Man City wins over Arsenal 2-0. Arsenal is probably going to win the Premier League, but it's amazing how passive they are. And they just it's just weird. There's no fight. They don't have any type of risk in their game. They just go out there and they just sit back and wait for other people to make mistakes, and it just doesn't happen. And it's just so boring to watch. They're a good team, good defensive team, but just so freaking boring to watch. What else? Randy Rosarina apologizes to Cal Raleigh over their whole thing. I don't think anybody really cares. It is what it is. Big news today, obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigba gets a record extension from the Seattle Seahawks. $42.15 million a year, over $120 million guaranteed, 4 years, $168.6 million contract. I told you guys earlier this year in the 2025-2026 season, he was the best. He was the best wide receiver in the game. And that was very early on. We saw it. We saw it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, for my money, I'd still take a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase, but JSN is absolutely incredible. The Patriots cut Josh Dobbs. Tommy DeVito is going to be their backup quarterback behind Drake May. And it looks like Spencer Strider hitting the IL for the Braves. Those guys just cannot stay healthy. I don't know what the deal is there in Atlanta. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Another fantastic show here on the program. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I'm everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Can't wait to get back on the practice field tonight to get out there with the boys. Back in action tomorrow, live from Benchmark International Arena. It is Lightning and Wild. And, of course, as we get closer and closer to the postseason, we'll be keeping a close eye on our Lightning. So we'll hear from John Cooper, we'll hear from some of the other guys, and I'm going to go do some studying right now when it comes to Nikita Kucherov and Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon. And we'll see who's been crushing it the most over the last 3 years. Follow me on all social media platforms at Recher, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. A big thank you to Honest Hammer and Everett Health and Ian Beckles and Nathan Bond. Support Bay Area Examiner and the Ian Beckles Show as well. I love you all. Everybody have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, live from Benchmark International Arena right here on the Jay Recher Podcast. I'm gone.